Hey guys, welcome to another inSTEM video. In this video, we are going to be delving into two crucial professional relationships that can propel your career forward. I love a quote that Isaac Newton once said, which goes, "If I've seen anything, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants." Now, in the professional world, these giants can represent mentors and sponsors. There was a study conducted by the Harvard Business Review in 2023, which found that 56% of mentored employees were likely to get promoted within their first year. Now, with relation to sponsorship, Center for Creative Leadership did a study a couple of years back, which highlighted that sponsored employees were 20% more likely to get a raise and 30% more likely to get a promotion. Now, we've heard all about mentors. They are typically experienced professionals within our fields that offer support and guidance. They are people that we go to draw from their seasoned experience to navigate our own careers. For example, if we're navigating challenges within our careers, we can go to them and use them as sounding boards to make informed decisions on how we address those challenges. I believe the role that a sponsor can play in your career can be incredibly powerful. But unfortunately, sponsorship isn't something that is talked about at the level which mentorship is talked about. Now, who is a sponsor? A sponsor is typically someone who is quite influential within an organization. They're quite powerful. They're usually very senior and they're invested in your career advancement. For example, they will leverage their power and their influence to open doors to new opportunities. And these opportunities can include promotion, introducing you to strategic connections, connecting you with high-profile projects, highly sought-after projects, and so on and so forth. Usually, a relationship with a sponsor will bring about a tangible benefit. Now, mentors and sponsors share very similar attributes. Both support and help advance your career. But there's a crucial distinction, and that is advocacy. A sponsor will advocate you. They will mention your names in rooms in which you're not present. And the relationship, as I mentioned earlier, will often lead to something tangible, such as a promotion, such as a connection to high-profile projects, or giving you a platform, actually, so that you can be more well-known within your organization. I love this very famous and well-known example of a sponsor-protege or relationship, if you will. It's that of the former CEO of Facebook, Sheryl Sandberg. So while she was at Harvard University, she met a well-known American economist called Larry Summers. Larry Summers was a professor at Harvard University at the time and actually was her thesis advisor. Now, when he was poached by the World Bank to work for them, he recruited her as his research assistant. Following his stint at the World Bank, he was recruited by the US government to serve as the Secretary of the Treasury. Guess what? He recruited Sheryl as his chief of staff. And as we know, following those amazing opportunities, she went on to be one of the most senior leaders and one of the most recognizable leaders in the world. She served as the COO of Facebook for a number of years and till this day, one of the most powerful women in business. As can be seen from her story, those opportunities that she was exposed through from her journey from Harvard will have undoubtedly served as a launching pad to her career in Facebook and in the tech world. I've personally benefited from the power of sponsorship. At my previous company, about a year into my first role, my manager at the time got promoted into a new department and into a different role. But a few months down the line, she pulled me aside one day and said, "Hey, Tolu, there's a new role opening up within my team, and I think you'd be a great fit." Honestly, at that time, I wasn't actually thinking of moving or changing roles, but her encouragement actually made me think about it, and I went for it. I applied for the role, and I got it, and it was such an incredible experience. In fact, I credit that role to being quite critical in me attaining chartership status. There were a number of competencies that I gained from that role that I wouldn't have gained in my previous role that led me to go for my chartership and attaining that goal. Now, what I didn't realize actually, and I found this out a few months into the new role, was that she had actively advocated me for that opportunity. She had gone to the key stakeholders for that role, the heads of departments, to say that I was the right person for it. So much so that she had to rescue herself from the interview process for fear of being biased. Upon reflection, the key differentiator for me was the fact that she had actively recommended me for the position. Until this day, I'm grateful to her. Her name is Claudia, if she's watching. Thank you again. I believe that role changed my career trajectory in a way that I did not imagine until it was presented to me. Now, following these examples, I'd really like to touch on a few key differences between the role of a mentor and the role of a sponsor. So as I've alluded to earlier on in this video, mentors guide. They will give you advice, they will share their insights with you, and you then take those insights to make informed decisions about your career. Whereas sponsors advocate, they actively promote your skills, they actively promote your achievements, they actively promote your accomplishments, and often the advocacy will lead to a tangible gain for your career. The second distinct difference is mentorship can be one-sided, right? And some of you might be wondering, what do I mean? So if I take myself as an example, a lot of the people I consider as mentors are people that don't actually know that I exist. These are people whose books I've read or videos I've watched on YouTube, and I found something really profound about what they've had to say, and I've implemented it in my life. But they don't know me. I don't have a relationship with them. They don't have a relationship with me, rather. I have a relationship with their content and resource. Whereas in the case of sponsorship, it's two-way. There needs to be a level of exposure of the sponsor to the protege's work, because to be built on trust and confidence. And you've got to remember that a sponsor is putting their reputation on the line to advocate for you. So in a sponsorship relationship, it's typically two-way. You know the sponsor, and the sponsor will know their protege, and the protege will know their sponsor. And very importantly, the sponsor will have a good exposure to the protege's work and an adequate understanding of their capabilities and abilities. The third difference that I would like to highlight is the stakes and trust. Now, if, say, for example, your career didn't necessarily pan out the way you wanted it to be, it's very little responsibility on your mentor. Fundamentally, what they're doing is giving you tips, as and when you need. Of course, I'm sure that as a mentor, most mentors would love for their, mentees to succeed. But actually, if perhaps they didn't they didn't achieve their goals in the time that, the mentee set out to achieve those goals, it doesn't have such a great consequence on the mentor. Whereas in the case of a sponsorship relationship, the sponsor is putting their reputation on the line. Their credibility is on the line when they advocate for their protege, for that opportunity or for that connection or for that project. So it's incredibly important that, the sponsee delivers, right? The results speaks to their judgment. If the results are great, it shows that the sponsor has great judgment. And conversely, if the results are not great, they're subpar and they're below the expectations, then it may cast doubt on the sponsor's judgment. To round up, I would really love you guys to reflect on your network. Do you think you have a sponsor? And would you actually like to see a follow-up video on how to secure sponsorship? Now that we've uncovered that mentorship isn't the only crucial, professional relationship we need, but sponsorship can go a long way, not just propelling our career forward, but actually accelerating our career as well. Thank you for sticking by. Hope the points I've made have resonated with you. Hope you've taken something away. Make sure you share them in the comments, and whilst you're there, hit the like and subscribe button. Until next time, bye.